Hey, we're back to Nuggetcast, and we're here with a special guest today.
Whoa, hey, how you doing?
It's Lumpkin County Sheriff Stacy Gerard. Where'd Jake go?
Whoa, there's Jake.
What are you doing in my seat, man? What is going on?
Excuse me, Jake. Sorry all about that.
All right, well, it's time for Nuggetcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Jake, and we are
Nuggetcast.
and we're the people that bring you your nugget every week. So this is our weekly look at our weekly paper. Comes out every Wednesday, and so you're here with us Friday morning, hopefully.
This is our third episode, so this is the, I guess it's like the Return of the Jedi of this. Or if you're going by the original, this is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Sorry. But we're gonna do what we usually do, which is the NewSprint.
Third time's the charm, so maybe we'll actually get through it all this time.
Right, we're gonna try hard. So this is where we try to summarize the front page in a minute. John Bynum back here is waving to you. He's our timer. He's our referee, and he's in charge of this whole situation.
Right,
so you just tell us when to go, and I think you take the top.
Okay, you want me to take this out?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
All right,
Ready.
go. All right, start.
Oh, okay, we're starting. All right, so at the very top, we got Code Breakers. UNG students finished runner-up in NSA Challenge. We always have some talented people in our UNG school doing computer science-y stuff and always winning national awards, it seems like. So another one down.
Okay, I'm going to actually call a timeout on this. I don't know if that's allowed.
President time.
But yeah, you can call extra time.
Yeah,
But I just didn't want to NewSprint past this because, you know, our headline here is Lumpkin loses popular judge leader. And that's Magistrate Judge Randy Pruitt, who was loved by a lot of people and really respected by people in the community and us at the Nugget. So I didn't want to sprint too fast past that. Actually, I was talking earlier this week to a local law enforcement officer about some memories that he had working with Randy when Randy was sheriff. And I could tell you about it, but maybe you should just hear about it from him. And that person is Lumpkin County Sheriff Stacy Gerard.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for the invite to come in and speak, especially about memories of our judge, Randy Pruitt. I could share a lot of stories, but you know, I'm not going to take up a lot of time with it. First, I want to just tell the family that I appreciate Randy. I always called him Handsome Ransom is what my nickname was for him, but Steve Cronick had actually started that a long time ago. He was a former sheriff down at Hall County, good friend of mine also. But one of the stories I would share with you about him that is most memorable to me, I was just an entry-level deputy that was just out on the road, 19 years of age. And I got a call one day that was a man that was, they needed me to go to. It was a domestic situation, and just gave me the address and said that I needed to get there quick, is what Peggy Horton had stated on the radio. So I'm going real fast in my patrol car, 19 years of age, going down Highway 60, just about to turn on Martin Ford Road, and all of a sudden Peggy started screaming at me on the radio, "Stop, stop, stop." And so I stopped in my patrol car there at St. Paul's Church, and Sheriff Pruitt at that time, Randy Pruitt, he was the sheriff, he had got on the radio and told me to stay right there till he got there. So all of a sudden, you know, just moments later, Lewis Mason, which was the chief deputy, he come pulling up, and he tells me to get in the car with him, and that Sheriff Pruitt was on the way, and we're sitting there, and then Sheriff Pruitt pulls up, and all of a sudden we just take off in two different vehicles, me with Lewis Mason, and Sheriff Pruitt was in his car, just wide open down Martin Ford Road. And I never forget, I looked over at Lewis Mason. He was driving. He was the chief deputy at the time. And I said, "Lewis, do you ever get scared in these situations? You know, I'm 19 years of age, just now starting law enforcement. He said, oh, you ain't scared. That's just your adrenaline pumping. I said, no, I'm scared. Because he told me what was going on. It was supposedly a man that was armed and had guns, and he was going to shoot the first law enforcement officer that pulled up to the residence.
So this is the first time you come across something like
It was
this.
the first bad call I ever went
Right.
on in my career. It definitely was. And that's why at that moment in time I realized it was just adrenaline, not being scared. But, you know, I was actually very nervous, especially when you hear that, you know, your dispatcher, Peggy Horton, which has passed, screaming at me to stop, and hearing that he's going to kill the first lawman. And I would have just went on down the driveway to thinking I was going to get out and save the day, you know, and got shot. But so we get there, and we sort of go down to the residence. It was a single wide mobile home, and we're sort of looking around, trying to take cover as much as we could, walking around, trying to find the best way to get into the residence. And by that time, Lewis Mason, we called him Caribou Lou, he saw this window. If you remember the mobile homes back then, the windows, they would roll out like this to open up to let
Like
some air in. Yeah,
Slats.
yeah,
type
slat
thing?
type windows. They would roll out. And I was 19 years of age, weighed about 120 pounds, and so I was very slender, very small frame. And Lewis Mason and Randy Pruitt gets the idea that, hey, we'll just throw him through that window. So here I am already with a bunch of adrenaline flowing, you know, getting ready, and I've already had the information that, hey, there's a guy in there going to shoot the first lawman that they see.
Right.
So they go to this window, and I get 1 foot in Randy's hand and 1 foot in Lewis's hand, and they lift me up and they throw me through the open window there. And so I hit the ground, tumble a little bit, sort of, you know, do a Tom Selleck Magnum PI roll, and pull out my pistol, and just thinking, you know. And also I hear, we carried revolvers then. I hear in the background, I hear 2 revolvers click. So I turn around and look, and Randy and Lewis is pointing revolvers at my back, and I'm walking towards supposedly a guy that was going to kill the first man he saw, you know. So it was a lot of adrenaline flowing at that time, and so I rush on through with my weapon drawn, and I see the front door of the mobile home on my left, and I'm looking, and there's chairs that are pushed down, barricaded up against the window of the front of the house, the front door, and I saw a bunch of guns laying there, and long guns, rifles, shotguns, pistols, ammunition, but still no one. So I pushed one of the chairs out of the way real fast, opened front door, and Randy and Lewis came in. We started searching for the guy, and the guy had actually had left the scene before we actually got there. But with our quick investigative work, we noticed that he was laying in the ditch behind the mobile home, and luckily he had left his weapons inside the residence. He was highly intoxicated, this person was. I am thankful for that. But he had actually put the 2-liter plastic Coca-Cola bottles, he'd filled them up with the gas and put rags in them, and had lighters there to light and throw, and like I said, all kind of ammunition, guns, and couch and everything up against the windows, barricaded. And you know, I feel at the time, if I would have went down by myself, probably something else could have happened. But so I miss Peggy Horton, thankful for Peggy, the dispatcher. I miss Lewis Mason, which was chief deputy. He passed away with cancer a few years back, and now I will truly miss Randy Pruitt. And I have a lot of more stories about Randy when I served for him as a deputy, as he was sheriff, and then I went on to other communities and come back, you know. But he will truly be missed. He is truly a handsome ransom, and he had a servant mentality, and he also had a good atmosphere about him, where he was always a jokester and always you know, enjoyed laughing more than frowning, and that's what I try to do also. And
Did having him for backup at that point what was probably like the scariest moment of your life so far. Did that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Did it give you any coaching on how to jump through a window?
No,
you
they just picked me up and
did
threw
it?
me through the window. That was just in the 80s. That's the way it was
Right.
with law enforcement.
They don't teach you that in the academy.
No, not at all. There's different techniques.
Right.
But, and that would.
Did the glass break everywhere? Or
No,
so you went like.
I remember I was very small.
Right.
I was a small guy, and I could fit through the window perfectly. So they eased me up and they just sort of threw me through the window.
Okay. So people think of you think of Judge Randy Pruitt, you think of him as being calm and collected, and and he was, but then back in the 80s, he's also doing Magnum PI type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So.
It's a lot of stories, a lot of memories, and I'll see him again, and to his family, just know that I'll be thinking about you also.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all.
So I want to thank the sheriff for stopping by. I know that threw off NewSprint, but I think it was worth it, and I thank him for sharing all that with us. So let's keep going. We're back on.
All right.
All right, and so over here to your right, you have schools halt contact tracing for COVID-19, and that was where we, basically we had found out about a change in COVID policy by the school system that where they had stopped notifying parents about potential exposures to COVID-19. So we felt like that was important to share with the community.
Okay, and our main art this week is the Lumpkin County High School girls basketball team that still can't be stopped. And there's David Dallas, and there's
Wow, we didn't even get anywhere.
we didn't get anywhere. Yeah, we covered a lot, but that's the moral of the story, that
You just can't sum up a week of news
right
in
you should
60
buy the
seconds.
paper. And if you do, you won't have John Bynum behind you with a timer. We promise that won't happen.
You're gonna have all week to read it if you need, like, and just however much time you want to
You're not
spend
gonna
on
do
it.
that, are you?
No,
That'd be
I
weird.
can't come in right now. Sorry.
Okay, so that was NewSprint.
And I know we kind of already took the unprecedented time out during
Right.
the NewSprint, but did you feel like there was anything, worth spending a little extra time
Well,
on?
yeah, we never got too far below the fold here, but I think one of the more interesting stories is Tremor Trouble. Midnight earthquake slightly rattles region.
Written by Matt.
Oh yes, written by me. And I like that headline. Midnight earthquake kind of sounds like a 80s funk band to me. I think that's just that would be an awesome band name. If anybody wants to take, they can. You don't have to give us like attribution. But I don't know. Did you feel this thing?
No, I think I was just, I don't know, when it comes to like earthquakes and stuff, I just like sleep right through the whole, I don't know, nothing like tornado, whatever. I'm
So
just
all natural
just
disaster
gone.
type things you're not awake for.
I'm
Yeah.
just,
For me, yeah, I was awake. It was Thursday night, and I thought that maybe there was like a bulldozer in the neighborhood. I didn't know what was happening. It kind of vibrated, and you heard a rumble, and I really just thought, why is someone driving heavy machinery around the neighborhood? And actually went out and like stood on the porch for a second and looked around to make sure that bulldozer wasn't headed towards us, and didn't think anything about it. But then there's this cool the United States Geological Survey, like they keep track of everything, and they released a report that said that we had I guess it was a 2.6 on the Richter scale earthquake that originated in Aiken, Georgia. That's kind of almost like Tennessee. It's pretty far up there. We had a earthquake. I guess it might have been 2017 too. That was bigger.
I don't remember that one either.
You don't remember? Yeah.
I'm just not good at earthquakes.
That's what. So I remember that one too, and actually thinking, was that an earthquake? So maybe, I don't know if I have like a sixth sense about earthquakes.
Yeah,
like
you think?
maybe. I don't know.
You just like kind
But
of
see that? Did you feel that?
That was me.
Oh, well, okay, but I'm just kind of
Just on the Reddit,
I'm
yeah.
on high alert right now. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting story, and one of those things that actually I guess they felt it more in Gilmer County, which I thought was interesting, that the sheriff's office actually over there actually got on Facebook and said, let me see.
Basically, that they had like were tired of hearing about it.
Right.
I think, right?
It kind of seemed like that. They're like, yes, we all just felt an earthquake. No need in calling into 911 to tell us unless you have a true emergency. They posted that on Facebook, so I guess people were actually calling. I don't know what they thought the deputies were going to do.
Right, like make it stop. like,
stop.
please stop the earthquake.
And then, so I asked our sheriff's office if they had any calls, and no one around here. We handle our earthquakes ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we don't
Yeah.
need the authority.
Take that, Gilmer County. Unless,
Right.
I'm just kidding. We appreciate your viewership.
Right, Gilmer. Oh, we just lost our Gilmer audience.
It's all right, I guess.
Right. Now we're going to our next segment, or maybe some of our people's favorite segment. It's time for Crime Time.
Crime time.
And that's when we pick out a selection from our, most people, this is their favorite page on 2A, the weekly crime beat. And Jake and myself will analyze our favorite ones from this week. So, do you want to start out?
Yeah, so, and I might cheat a little bit. I'm going to choose a little more than one, but, yeah, if you're reading along with us, we'll start in January 15th. It says a man said someone stole his generator. So like, all right, that's not good. Then later, same day, it says a man said someone stole his wallet from his car. And then on January 19th, we have a man said someone stole his gun. So like, hopefully that's not the same guy, because like that's a terrible week right there. Like, I mean, you lose a generator, your wallet. I mean, you lose your wallet, you lose like all the stuff. Like, yeah, you probably had money in there, but also you lose like your driver's license and all that annoying stuff. And then, and then lose your gun too. Like, that's just an awful week. So hopefully maybe he just misplaced all of those three things.
Right. I should point out it is not the same man.
Well, okay.
But still.
Well, that's good at least.
Right. But it's like three people are having a rough week out there too. So, let's see. This is a little bit. Okay, this is January 17th. A little more in-depth one. A local developer said someone tore up the grass on his property with an off-road vehicle during the weekend snowstorm. A responding deputy then came across a teenager driving a red ATV just down the road. When the officer asked him what he was doing, the teenager said, "Getting into trouble." That's a quote. Getting into trouble, which I guess he was, because he was talking to the deputy about
the crime beat. So
and then he apologized, and that's my favorite part of that crime beat entry. I like it when people mess up, but then they apologize, and I read the actual report, and the guy said he was sorry, but also something's got to be done about that grass too. So, but still,
it does seem like it would be hard to tell, like, not trying to take the side of,
right,
criminal activity, if you want to call it that. But like, I mean, if there's snow on top of it, do you really know how much damage you're doing to the grass? I don't know. Not an ATV professional.
Right.
You probably know.
But I do. I'm not sure. I just wish that all the crime beats would add and he apologized.
Right. If everyone would just apologize for what they did at the end, then
right,
maybe everything would be better. But
so we're kind of wrapping things up, but I'm bringing the honor roll back from last week, and like I said, we're trying to spread some kindness on the internet, and when people are nice to us, we want to say nice things to them, and people were nice to us this week again, which was nice of them.
Yeah.
So we got some nice comments from Tammy Lynn, from Tucker, from Alice. That's Alice Aiken. That's my mom. I don't know. That still counts, I think. Judy, Melissa, Jim, once again, Nancy, Zoe, Lindsay, and Katie. And Katie also I'm married to. I don't know if this is just my family members. But Katie sent two of those like clap clapping hand emojis.
So, I mean, she's like, wants us to hurry
I
up,
don't know
or
if
if
yeah.
it was like two seems like a weird
It's a weird
amount. Like,
amount.
you should send like however long you're clapping.
It was
for.
just 2 claps. We got 2 claps that week.
Well,
so
better
maybe
than
we'll
0
get
claps,
3
I guess.
this week. I don't, from other people, I don't know that I'm not related to.
Right.
Great. So,
But also, you can comment below, or if you just have ideas, if you things you'd like to see us talk about on the Nuggetcast. Maybe people that you'd like to. I mean, obviously we had a special guest today, which was pretty cool.
Unprecedented.
So yeah, thanks again for the sheriff to spare some minutes with us. But yeah, so if there's another special guest you'd like to see, maybe we can pull some strings. We do know some
and
people.
if you want to stop on by, you can. I mean, you don't know this, but we keep the door open, and literally someone walked in and we had a conversation during the podcast. So if you're coming in on, we actually film on Thursday morning, you might wind up on the podcast. Who knows? But thanks everybody, and what did you want to like and subscribe?
Yeah, do that, and obviously you can subscribe to our actual paper.
Oh, yes.
Get that in there in the
Even
mail.
better.
Yeah.
Thanks
They
for
will
watching
bring-
Nuggetcast.
Yeah.
Jake, it's happening. It's happening.